All right. Okay. Hi, guys. My name's Elena. Uh, I wanted to do like a fun one, like what are your gifts and talents? Okay. Do a fun little reading like that. I would love to know if you guys like what kind of videos you guys would like to see. Like if you like more of like the weekly predictions or the monthly predictions or like that kind of thing, or if you like more of like the fun ones, like what are people noticing about you, or what's your gifts and talents, or who are you ready to become, or like, different ones like that. Or, I like watching some of those fun ones. And so I'm just, I just kind of an experiment and see which ones get the most likes. So if this does resonate, please like, please comment, subscribe. Okay. All right. One last shuffle. All right. What are their gifts and talents? Gifts and talents. Here we go. All right. I feel like, what's this one? You have this way of like, okay, how do I say this? Okay. You have this way of like almost being recognized for things that you don't expect to get recognized for. Like people see things, like you're able to like illuminate certain parts of you. Maybe you don't even intentionally do this, but I feel like you have this way, and maybe you even do this in others. Like you're able to you have this gift of finding like the parts of people that they don't usually show, or that's kind of hidden, and I feel like you almost acknowledge those parts of people. Okay, like there's this sense of like you're able to see in people what most people don't see in them. Okay, well, that's a talent, baby. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, you're able to you're able to like shine a light on certain parts of people that maybe they aren't even aware that's there. Or you're able to like bring out things in people that they didn't know was there, or that they're trying to hide, or something like that. And like you acknowledge parts of people. Yes, like there's this part of you of like you're able to like deal with like the darker parts of yourself or of people. You're able to deal, or like you're able to work with like, I mean, this is the devil. You're able to work with like maybe like parts of people that hold them back, or possibly even yourself. You're able to like I don't know, like almost like dig deep into people's souls and pull out parts of them that they didn't even know was there. And like, that's very intense. I was not expecting this. Okay. All right, what else we got? What other gifts and talents? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like you have a talent of working with people, or like people come to you for like certain advice or like certain expertise. People look up to you and like your knowledge. It maybe not be just like widespread knowledge, but you have a knowledge, and people look up to you for for something. And you have this way of you have this gift of helping people extract the lessons out of life. Okay, you have this way of like, yes, that was traumatic, or that was a difficult thing, but look what you learned. Look how this what the type of person this like turned you into. You know, you have this way of finding the good in things. Yes. And I'm also getting like you have this you have this gift of kind of like going for things. Maybe like you kind of go for things that like you kind of go for things that most people wouldn't go for, or maybe that people wouldn't expect. I feel like maybe you go places, maybe in like, I feel like almost like in a spiritual realm, or like in like you go places that people wouldn't go. You know what I mean? This may be like on like a mental level, or not mental, on like a psychological, spiritual kind of level. Like you deal with things like hidden things often, okay? And yeah, you face things head on, okay? And you know, you have this way of bringing like a sense of like calm and peace to things. Like you have a way of like balancing the emotions in things. You know, like you have this sense of like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna extract the lessons out of this, okay? And we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. This, you know, we're gonna release the burden here. We're gonna release the burden here, and we're just gonna keep moving. We're just gonna keep moving. Yeah, Hangman. I feel like you have this way. I feel like there's a couple ways I could take this, but I feel like you have a way of looking at, you have this way of looking at unbearable things like in a different perspective. And I was also getting that you don't wait around to heal from pain, or like wait around to heal from heartache or from pain or whatever. You know, but okay, I want to go with the first one. Like you have this way of looking at heartache, or looking at pain, or looking at the things that we go through that are just like, they rip us apart. You have this way of going in and pulling out the lessons, and pulling out the experience, like pulling out the lessons from the experience. And that is a true gift. That is a true talent, to be able to look at things, like look at the hardest parts of life and the most difficult parts of people, and say, yeah, you know, you went through that, you did deal with that, that was really hard to deal with, but what did you learn from it? What lessons can we pull out of this? Okay, which is really, really beautiful. That is really beautiful. A lot of people tend to stay in like this victim mode whenever traumatic things happen to them, and they, you know, and yeah, they were possibly a victim, but at some point you have got to take the responsibility. It is your responsibility to heal from that. And I feel like you know that. I feel like you know, like, that wasn't my fault. That shouldn't have happened to me, or whatever. That was a horrible situation I was in. But now I know, you know, now I've learned a lot. It has actually changed who I am as a person. You know what I mean? But, you know, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep shaking here. What other gifts and talents do they have here? What other gifts and talents do you have? Yeah. Okay. What I just heard is you have this way of freeing yourself from the impossible, from things that people around you would consider impossible. You have this way of looking at it, which I'm kind of reading this card in reverse, but of like the reversed meaning. But you have this way of freeing yourself from actually, they're not limitations. They're just things you think like are limited. you feel like your hands are tied, but they're not actually. So I feel like you have this talent of knowing, of like, you're able to do like the things that are impossible, or the things that, you know what I mean, that you tell yourself you can't do. Like, you have this way of moving past that, or helping people move past that. Okay, other gifts and talents. Do you have what other gifts and talents? Woo! All right. Yes. Okay. I do feel like, and this kind of ties back a little bit, but I do feel like you do have this way of addressing the difficult things in life. You have a way of addressing it, acknowledging it, and say, you know, but that's not it. Like, you have this way of, yes, that is a part of life, but that is not all of life. You know what I mean? You have like this wider perspective of things. And I also feel like you have this gift of like, you have this gift of having like an emotional, of an emotional authority. I'm not exactly, maybe you have your own emotional authority, and it seems like you absolutely do, because you don't get stuck in some emotional spot of some emotional, like, you know, you're able to like bring yourself out of it and know that, yeah, this is just a period of time. This is not my full experience here. Okay. And I feel like you do this for other people. You do this for other people. And you are able, like, you do have this ability to make, I'm hearing good judgment calls. You have like this authoritarian, I don't know if that's like a bad word to say. I don't know what that, you have this authority, in I guess I'm assuming like in your own life, which we all do. We all have authority in our own life, but of over the decisions, like, you make your decisions from like a healthy emotional place. And that can be hard to do sometimes. That can be hard for a lot of people to do sometimes, is to make their decisions from like a healthy emotional place. A lot of times we make decisions based on our, like, you know, our crazy emotions, or I'm angry, or I'm hurt, or, you know, I'm sad, or whatever, you know, or sometimes we can make it on, I'm so freaking happy, you know, and it, you know, go get married in Vegas, you know what I mean? But I feel like you have this way of making good judgment calls, even in emotional times, you know, or you have this way of like dealing with, you know, or like you either in emotional times you don't make decisions, or you're able to make good decisions in emotional times. Could be either or, could be both. Okay, what other gifts and talents? This is, whoa, hold on. Okay. Yeah, you have, okay. You have this way of creating you have this gift, this talent of creating your own way. As I said before, of like you have this way of like doing the impossible. You have this way of like making your own way, of like you create your own path. You manifest your own path. Like you create your own way to success. And I feel like obviously everybody's version of success isn't the same, but you definitely create your own version of success. You don't chase the like the modern way. I don't know if I'm really saying that right, but you don't chase like what social media says to be happy, or like what social media says is success. That's not, I don't feel like that's how you define your success. And I feel like, yeah, you have your own version of success and what makes you happy, which is absolutely, you have to, because these days they will some of the information that we have been taught, about what's going to make us happy is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or what, but I feel like the things that women have been told about success and happiness is ass backwards. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, forget the kids, forget the husband, forget the family, go get a career, and you work all through your fertile years, and then you're left with your cat. Sorry, I've been listening to stuff like that, so I feel like that's why it came up. But anyways, yeah, you do have this way of going about you have this way of creating and not following the pack, okay? You don't follow the pack on what success is, okay? You have like your own version that you create. Yes. Okay, back to the same message. Like, this is like when pigs fly. That's what I hear when a pig is flying. This is like doing the impossible things. This is like stuff that usually doesn't happen. You're able to make things happen that usually don't happen, or that other people wouldn't do. You have this way of doing stuff that people would never think of doing. Okay. Yeah, you know. Okay, I'm getting a few different things here. I'm getting that you have a certain gracefulness in dealing with relationships, with connections. The energy just completely changed. Okay. You have this gracefulness in dealing with the endings of connections, of relationships, of passionate ventures. You have this gracefulness of being able to leave connections that maybe they were fantastic, but now, you know, now it's not beneficial to anybody, or now it's starting to like tear apart. Possibly you have this way of saying, you know what, this is the end. This is the end of the road for us. All love, no hard feelings. And you're able to like just cut ties, and like this gracefulness that is just yummy. Like, that's not like, you don't want to tear somebody apart. You don't want to pick out everything somebody did wrong because it's coming to an end, or because, yeah, it's time for us to move directions. We're going in different directions now, and it's all love. You know what I mean? You have this way of doing that, of not overthinking it, of it not being overly emotional, of not feeling like attacked by the person or attacking them. That's really good. Yes, you do have this way of protecting your boundaries, of protecting your decisions, okay? You have this, yeah, you do have this way of protecting your decisions, of almost, and I'm hearing protecting yourself from the demands of the world, from others, of like expectations. You have this way of, of trusting your decisions. You do. Okay, the energy's switching again. But you do have this way of putting up your boundaries, this is what I'm available for, and this is what I'm not available for, and trusting in that. Trusting in that you know what is best for you, you know what decisions will serve you, and you trust your decisions. I feel like your decisions are guided by spirit, by the universe. You don't just like, you know what I mean? You do have a guidance system in you, an internal guidance system, but you trust it. You just, there's just like, you just intuitively know. Okay? What decision to make, and that is a talent, that